Seahawks, Femi, it feels like it moved. The line is moving towards Seattle. Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. We'll lead the show with it tomorrow. The Seahawks and the Cardinals in the desert. What do we got? What's the latest injury info, etc.?
Yeah, this one opened Cardinals 1.5 Sunday night, and we have flipped favorites. Seattle is now a 1.5 point favorite over at BetMGM. The total's been hanging out 43.5 all week long. From an injury standpoint, I'm looking for some clarity here on the Cardinals, guys. I know they're a West Coast team. I'm assuming we're going to find out in the next hour or so the full injury report here, but they have a couple of injuries. Obviously, the secondary's been banged up. Will Johnson, their rookie corner, the stud out of Michigan, he's dealing with a groin injury. The bad news for Arizona out of Sunday's games, James Conner done for the season with the foot injury, and then Kelvin Beachum, they listed him as knee and resting, so he should be good to go, but their offensive tackle, Kelvin Beachum, has been banged up, which is important to know because Paris Johnson missed the last game as well. So the injury news, bad for Arizona, but could be better, as we'll find out later on today. And for Seattle, it's pretty good. The secondary looks like everyone's going to be back. Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, and potentially even the rookie Nick Emenwari, who we haven't seen since the opening kickoff of week 1 when he suffered a high ankle sprain. So Seattle seems to be getting a good injury report. Arizona still up for grabs right now, as why the money has been going towards the Seahawks. For me, it's Cardinals or pass. I just want more clarity on Arizona, but I could see myself with a small bet on the Cardinals money line with this game because I think it's a coin flip game, and if you're going to give me plus money, I'll take that and sweat it out on the Thursday night.
I'd like to get there with Arizona. I don't know if I can. It just feels like all of this is correct if the Cardinals injury report is going to be what it is. And everyone knows, I like the Cardinals more than Seattle coming into the year. At full strength, I would like Arizona. I'm a little nervous here. Now, I'm not going to bet Seattle, so it's Arizona or nothing, but it may be nothing for me tomorrow night. We'll give out all our bets, side total and props, etc. tomorrow on the show. All right, we move from Thursday to Sunday, and we go across the pond to Dublin, Ireland. What do we have here, Femi, with the Vikings and the Steelers, 9:30 a.m. kickoff Eastern time on Sunday morning?
Yeah, this will be bright and early over there in Dublin, which, by the way, me and Nick, countdown to kickoff this Sunday. Make sure you tune in 11 to 1 Eastern time here on the BetMGM network. That'll be a fun game to sweat, as we have seen the Minnesota Vikings go out to a 2.5 point favorite. This was about 1.5 earlier this week, but the money's been coming in on the Vikings. My guess on that one, because the injury report's not that bad for Pittsburgh. Alex Highsmith, he's out dealing with a high ankle sprain. He was also out last week, so I don't think it has anything to do with that one. I think this is a lot of people just looking to bet against Pittsburgh after what we saw this past Sunday, where it was one of those kind of fraudulent victories, 5 turnovers, and they only win by a touchdown on the road against New England. And all those turnovers were with New England going in to score. Fumble on the goal line, interception in the end zone, kind of a bad run out there for New England. So I think bettors are trying to get ahead of that. As for the total, it's been bet to the under, 41.5, got all the way down to 40.5, crossing that key-ish number of 41. Now we're settling at 41 over at BetMGM. For me, my opinion is if it gets to 3, you kind of have to bet Pittsburgh at 3. I don't know if we're going to make it there. Potentially, maybe we do on game day, but 3 would be a buy for Pittsburgh at current prices. I think it's just right. Minnesota should be favored, and they are.
Yeah, subjectively, I'm going to like the Steelers here. I think the line's fine. I don't think we're going to 3. I'll end up with the Steelers money line ticket on Sunday. With my thought being, I think the Steelers defense will harass Carson Wentz. I like the Steelers more than most. I don't have, I'm not claiming I have an edge on the game. I'm going to bet my opinion. My opinion could be worthless. Your opinion could be the Vikings win. You could be right. In the Super Bowl 9 rematch the world has been waiting for. So I'll be on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin coming up on Sunday. Femi, what about the Texans and the Titans in Houston? I'm actually seeing betting movement as we speak right now coming in on the home team.
Yeah, this is because of the Cam Ward news that came out just about 30 minutes ago. Cam Ward, the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, is dealing with an ankle and calf injury, was limited at practice today. So you're going to see people looking to bet the Houston Texans. J.C. Latham, also DNP at practice, did not practice because he's dealing with his injuries on the offensive line. The offensive line is already kind of in shambles when healthy. Now those guys are banged up, not looking great going up against this Houston defensive front, which is probably the only thing that Houston does well right now in this 2025 season. Those 7s might start to go to 7.5. I don't want any part of Tennessee until they make a change at head coach, so I'm going to pass that one. The under was probably the bet earlier in the week, but you know how totals have been going for us. So for me, this is a pass on the game.
Like I said on Monday, I got pretty stoned and I bet the Titans on Sunday night plus 7.5. Hopefully Cam Ward's going to be healthy and good to go in this game, like limited in practice today on Wednesday. I think Cam Ward will play. I'm probably just going to ride this out with the Titans plus 7.5, and may God have mercy on my soul. I don't want to do that. It's not a big bet. Commanders and the Falcons, Femi. A lot going on here, right? Go ahead. Como news.
Yeah. Washington Commanders, obviously their quarterback, Jaden Daniels. That's the big story with this game. Limited at practice today. He was met with the media. Did not speak with the media last week, which is a big difference this week. But he says he feels good, but it's up to the doctors. And despite him saying he feels good, it's still not certain whether he's going to play in the game. We're not going to find out until probably Friday at the absolute earliest. So just keep that in mind with Jaden Daniels. And then Terry McLaurin, his go-to guy, star wide receiver, DNP with a quad injury. So Daniels, limited, McLaurin, DNP. And right now, that's why you see the Atlanta Falcons as a only 1-point dog right now over at BetMGM. Some spots actually have Atlanta favored, but BetMGM has the Commanders favored. Total tick down to the under just a half point. But that's where we stand right now between Washington and Atlanta.
I think I want to bet the Falcons, but I'd like more clarity on the injury report. I do think we get a big-time Michael Penix Jr. Yeah, I mean, once we have more injury information, I think we'll be able to figure this out. But Atlanta is the side that I would like to bet in this game. We'll see if I end up getting there. Femi, biggest point spread of the season in Buffalo with the Bills and the Saints. Interesting betting movement in this game today. What do we got? Buffalo and New Orleans.
Yeah, we got money coming in on the Saints. The big dog is getting some bets. Now, BetMGM is still at 16. They've been hanging out at 16 for the last couple of days here, but other sports books that I'm seeing here in Las Vegas and in other spots, we're down to 15.5, which is it's not like the biggest move, going from 16 to 15. It's not a massive move, but a move nonetheless, as there seems to be interest on the New Orleans Saints as a very big underdog in the game. Also, the total's been bouncing back and forth. Open 47.5, went up to 48.5, now settling in at 48. Over at BetMGM. I don't really have a betting opinion on this game. I think Buffalo's going to kill them. So does the betting market. I think that's where we sit right now. The total, I'm not doing those anymore. So for me, this is a complete pass.
I will say, I think one of the reasons why people may be interested in New Orleans, not to win, but to cover a huge number, the Saints are running so many plays. And remember, we talked about this in preseason, right, and in training camp, that Kellen Moore was showing the Saints videos of the Indiana Pacers in the playoffs. Obviously, with the comp being we want to play a super up-tempo style. And the Bills play it like a snail's pace. And it could get them into trouble, could you imagine, let's just say that the Bills last week against Miami played pedal to the metal and played really up-tempo on offense. Buffalo would have won by 1 million. Dolphins couldn't stop them. But Buffalo runs this really slow style of offense, and the Saints run 1 billion plays, and maybe that creates enough variance for New Orleans to keep the game within 3 scores. I'm not saying I want to bet the Saints, just that I think that that's the handicap if people like New Orleans. Insane play volume for the Saints. The Saints are going to run way more plays than the Bills in this game. Definitely. And maybe that gets New Orleans inside the number.
the Lions and the Browns. We actually have some movement with this game. Right now, this BetMGM market is at 10. I see some other places at 9.5, but we were hanging out 8.5, 9 earlier this morning. Then we got all the way to 10 everywhere else. And at 10, that was the buy point on the Cleveland Browns. So BetMGM is still at 10. If you like Cleveland, BetMGM is your home to go ahead and do it. But there's other sports books around the country that have gone down to 9.5. As for the total, it was 45.5 a couple days ago. Now it's down to 44.5. So money coming in on Cleveland at the key number of 10. Total still expected to be a lower scoring game. At 10, maybe Cleveland, but I just don't want to bet this.
We don't know how injured this offensive line is, though, right, with Cleveland?
No, we don't know how. That's the big thing. That Conklin got hurt in the game. DeJuan Jones, I believe he's going to be missing this game for sure. Yeah, he's on IR. Yeah, so the Cleveland offensive line, that's in shambles. Let's get a more clear injury report on that before we look to dive into the Cleveland Browns. But if this O-line's banged up, good luck with that one, because Detroit will run them out of the building.
I did say yesterday on the show that I liked Cleveland at I haven't bet it. The Browns stuff with the offensive line is not great. Let's see how this develops over the course of the week. If they have no offensive line, they're not going to be able to score against the Lions defense. And it doesn't matter how good the Browns defense is going to be. They're going to be in big trouble. Just to get this into the show, We did Seahawks Cardinals already. This news came down moments ago. Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love are both off the injury report for Seattle. Both will play tomorrow night. Full go for the Seahawks on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals. Femi, what about the Panthers and the Patriots in New England? The Super Bowl 38 rematch the world has been waiting for.
A great game that was, man. Points just in the second and the fourth quarter. Hell of a game. But this one, we have seen a little bit of movement early in the week, going from 4.5 to 5.5 on the New England Patriots. But since then, we have been static. The total also sitting at 43. Now, the big news with this game is the injuries to Tedero and McMillan on Carolina, and of course, Christian Gonzalez, which we have been tracking since week 1 of the regular season. On the T-Mac side, he's dealing with a calf injury, not at practice today, but he said that he expects to play on Sunday, so it should be all good there for the rookie stud wide receiver for the Panthers. For New England, Christian Gonzalez, they're expecting to ramp him up this week. Practice limited all last week. They ended up holding him back. I'm guessing that he's going to play in this game. Nick, I don't know what your read is on this one. I'm assuming he's going to be out there since this is kind of the ramp-up week. But once again, he hasn't really practiced in full since July when he hurt his hamstring. So New England money's been going there. I like New England quite a bit. Bet 4.5 earlier this week. I would still bet 5.5. If you haven't bet this one, I think anything under 6 is good for the Patriots.
I agree. We talked about it on Monday. Femi and I both like the New England Patriots. Femi, what about the Giants and the Chargers at MetLife? Jaxson Dart will make his first NFL start. Malik Neighbors, no practice today on Wednesday. What do we got with the Giants and the Bolts?
So we're sitting at 6.5. This was 5.5, then to 6. Now it's 6.5. So I think a lot of people have been anticipating a potential Jaxson Dart first start for him in his NFL career, going up against a really good defense. The total, that's kind of been bouncing back and forth. 45.5 down to 43.5, now back up to 44. I would anticipate this is a lower scoring game. That's how the market's been betting it. I have no real opinion on this one. I think all outcomes are on the table once you put in a new quarterback for the New York Giants.
Subjectively, I think the Giants can keep this game a little bit closer than the betting market thinks. And I think, obviously, Dart's going to draw all the headlines. I do think the Giants' pass rush can impact Justin Herbert the way like the Broncos' defense did last week, or at least close to that. If I had to bet the game, and I don't know if I will, I would actually take the points with the Giants. Eagles and the Bucs on Sunday, Femi, in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, right now, Philadelphia holding as a 3.5 point favorite. This was 3 at open, got bet out to 3.5. Of course, Mike Evans not going to be playing in the game for the Buccaneers. That's a 3 to 4 week hamstring injury that he's dealing with. But on the good side for Tampa is that they will be getting back likely both Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs. Those guys have been dealing with injuries from the offseason. Wirfs at training camp. Godwin, of course, all the way back to last season. If all goes well this week, reportedly, they will play on Sunday. The big one for Philly to keep in mind, Lane Johnson with a neck injury. He says he's good. It was just a stinger, but just want to go ahead and put that out there. I think for me, if it ever got back to 3, I'd bet Philly at 3.5. I think we're just good here, and there's nothing to do.
I did, as I said earlier in the week, lay Philly -3. We'll see if I come back on the Eagles at all, but I do like the Eagles as the side in this game. Rams and the Colts on Sunday in Los Angeles. Fascinating game. What do we got? Rams and Colts here. You bet on this Wednesday.
Yeah, you got some money coming in on Indianapolis. Like, this was opening. There was like 4s and 4.5s that were out there. Now we're down to 3.5 pretty much across the board. I think we might hit 3 at a couple spots by the end of the week here. The total, that's been going up, 47.5, now 49.5. Now the injury news is on the Indy side. Alec Pierce is in the concussion protocol. DNP today. Let's see how he progresses through the week, but that's not looking great if we're already starting off with a DNP while in the protocol. Kenny Moore, their slot corner, sounds like he's going to miss some time with a calf and Achilles injury, so that's the injury front there for Indianapolis. But at 3, I'm betting the Rams. At current price, though, I'll just pass.
I bet 3.5 with Indianapolis on Sunday night. I was actually surprised that it hasn't moved yet. And Femi's telling you that maybe it will. I do like the Colts getting more than a field goal. I think the number in the game should be 3. Drew Dinsick said yesterday, for what it's worth, he made the number 4. So I think you'll see people on both sides of this game. I just want to throw a prop thought out. If Alec Pierce doesn't play, we will be on A.D. Mitchell receiving yards over, as Mitchell would fill in on the outside at wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. All right, let's try and roll through the whole board if we can here in the rest of the segment. Yep. We go to, well, no, this one's going to take a while. The Niners and Jaguars on Sunday in the Bay Area. This Niners injury report today is like a CVS receipt.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Of course, Brock Purdy is the big story with this game here. Limited at practice today, toe and shoulder injury. But the big issue currently this week for the 49ers is at wide receiver. Ricky Pearsall, DNP. Juwan Jennings, DNP. It's not great. Obviously, we already know Nick Bosa out for the season with a torn ACL. As right now, you see the Jaguars have been getting bet since open. And some of my money went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I took some 4.5 on Sunday. I like Jacksonville quite a bit in this game. It's down to 3.5. I think we're going to end up hitting 3 once again. It popped earlier in the week, then it got bet, but I think we're going to end up closing like around 3 or heavily juiced 3.5. I like Jacksonville at anything more than a field goal, even if Brock Purdy plays. Give me the Jaguars. I don't care. I think this is a more competitive game than what the betting market thinks.
If I love the Jaguars this year, this is good. We'll see what the injury report ends up looking like. I haven't bet the game yet. I think this point spread's crazy, unless everyone misses the game, and then it's okay. Otherwise, I'm just hold on. I'm just gonna just for bleeps and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this number should be bigger than it is. I'm surprised that this is what it is, and maybe it's just injuries. We'll see. I have not bet the game yet.
I mean, it's like, well, how much is the drop off from Purdy to Mac? You know, based on what Mac has done through the first couple weeks.
We think Purdy's going to play, right?
I would guess that this is like Purdy playing.
I mean, and it's 3.
I mean, I don't think it's that nuts. I took 4.5.
I guess we'll find out. Ravens and the Chiefs Sunday in Baltimore. Or in Kansas City, excuse me.
Kansas City, yes. The big news with this one is Nnamdi Madubuike for the Baltimore Ravens. He is likely out for this game and probably for the foreseeable future, based on some of the quotes coming out of John Harbaugh from earlier this afternoon. He said he didn't even have the green light to talk about if this is long-term or not. That doesn't sound good. Big news, though, for Kansas City. Xavier Worthy, their wide receiver, hasn't played since opening night in Brazil. He practiced in full, so that's massive for the Chiefs as we currently hang out at Ravens 2.5 on the road. The total is up to 48.5. That's kind of where we've been hanging. I'm guessing this was just we're going to chill. I don't think we're going to get to 3 because at 3, I think a lot of people are going to want to bet Kansas City, but at 2.5, I think we're just right. So that's where we're going to hang out.
Raiders and the Bears Sunday in Vegas.
This one is all over the place. You got pick, you got other team favored. It's all over. BetMGM Chicago is your favorite. Other sports books, Vegas is the favorite, and there's a sports book that has a pick 'em. Total sitting at 48. The Bears injury report not great. TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon, Grady Jarrett, Colston Loveland, Darnell Wright, all DNP today with hamstrings and knees and hips and elbows. That's where things are at right now for the Chicago Bears. I would guess that some of these guys are playing it's more injury maintenance like your Grady Jarrett's of the world, but let's see tomorrow and on Friday what this actually is. At plus money, I like the Raiders. Anything other than that, I think it's just a pass, but plus money on the money line is how I'm going to look to attack this game.
One of the Bears beat writers said that the injuries were their neck, their back. Packers and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football in Dallas.
Green Bay offensive tackle Zach Tom likely out with the oblique injury. That's a bummer for the Green Bay offensive line. The Cowboys might be getting some reinforcements in the secondary. Deron Bland, he was out on the practice field today. That's a good sign for him. I haven't seen any news on Trayvon Diggs for their corner, but obviously for Dallas, CeeDee Lamb, he's out. That's been known since Monday, dealing with a high ankle sprain. And right now, BetMGM is one of the lone 7s that's out there. This is 6.5 pretty much everywhere else. If you like Dallas, go ahead and make it legendary. But the total right now is at 47.5, a little bit of movement coming in on the under. My opinion with this game, let's see the injury report, but if it's a solid injury report for Green Bay and Dallas is just kind of iffy, 6.5 will be a bet for me. But as it stands right now, I just want more information.
Just to give my thoughts on a couple of these games. Raiders against the Bears will likely be the side that I'll be on. I'd like to pull the trigger on Dallas, but man, that's a tough button to click.
Don't do it. Just save your Sunday night.
I don't think I will. I'm actually going to do a little work in the break on Niners Jaguars. I was really stoned on Sunday night when I just made a mistake.
And be talking sometimes, and we know how it's mighty.
Yeah. Oh,